Hi, my darlings. Happy Valentine's Day. All of you are my Valentine because you know what? To be honest, it's a really overrated holiday. Got myself some flowers and my favorite chocolates, and I've been eating them throughout the day. And I went to a movie I wanted to see this week, and I had a great time. I love being alone. It's so fun. And I think when you turn 50, you're just really excited to be your own person. I mean, even when I watched tonight's show, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, which I'm going to do a gossip dump and recap about, I couldn't help but think to myself, thank God I don't have to deal with someone like PK who doesn't even want to be with me on Mother's Day, or some of the other women wanting to sell BJs for $1 million diamonds. I'm so happy that I don't need any of that crap anymore. And I could just have fun by myself and do my own thing and be self-reliant on me. Always served me well in my 20s and 30s, and I lost my way somewhere to try to get wealthy, I suppose, be really wealthy. But in the end of the day, let me tell you, being with a jerk for dough and an over-the-top life, it's not so worth it, just saying. All right, you guys, so I have so much gossip to tell you. I'm going to tell you about Erika Jayne Girardi's earrings and what happened to them, because it's certainly not going to be seen on this season, I can tell you that. And then I want to play you a soundbite that was so cringe from tonight's show, and I want to comment, and then a few other little things, and then we'll get into the recap. All right, let's get started. Oh, by the way, you guys, just a few days ago, I dropped an audio and video version of Crystal Minkoff's Deep Dive. And Crystal did help me with a part of it on some controversial things that I found and asked her about. So you might really enjoy this one. There's stuff in here about Crystal that you won't find anywhere else. And if you want that kind of content, you're going to really enjoy this. This is in the Patreon. It's a few posts down now, but you'll find it if you go in. So these are a pair of earrings that Erika Jayne Girardi turned in to the trustee. These earrings were, although, Erika did file an appeal to try to stop the sale of the earrings, it did go forward, and the trustee did use an auction site that then sold the earrings in 2022 through that auction site, and most notably had a new GIA certificate created for the earrings. So that when the person bought them, they would be reevaluated with a new GIA cert. I think that probably has something to do with the fact that there's been some question about the GIA cert of the original $750,000 earrings, and then the GIA cert of the earrings that were turned in, which were different. And I did verify that myself. I went on the deepest of deep dives. I even sent the information to Ron Richards. We had collaborated a few times on content, and I sent it to him. Needless to say, he was believing, like me, that the earrings she turned in were not the earrings. But then when they sold these earrings, which she did turn into the trustee at auction, they got re-GIA certified. They were about 14 carats and nearly clear. And now you're never going to guess who got the earrings. It's so ironic. Oh my gosh. And you guessed it, Lauren Richards got the earrings. There's her with them on. Ronald Richards went into the auction and bought them. And actually, this was a message Lauren sent to Erika Jayne Girardi to taunt her about getting them. Now, there's something you may not know, and that is that Erika Jayne Girardi and Ronald Richards got into a fight that was on social media, and somehow Lauren Richards was dragged into the fight, his wife. So Ronald blamed Erika, and Erika blamed Ronald, and essentially I think this was ultimately Ron Richards' FU to Erika. He bought the earrings and gave it to his wife. Now, this was cold-blooded because Ronald Richards not only was litigating against Tom Girardi and helping the trustee find assets of Erika and Tom's and working for the trustee at a certain point, But he also was talking about Erica Jane Girardi a lot on his social media and giving updates on the case and this and that. So every time she tried to get a narrative out that was positive, Ronald was sort of there to tell the alternative version, which was, of course, kind of the true version because he's a lawyer and he knows, and he's shady like that. He would have no problem with me saying that. And of course, his social media is his opinion, and he built quite a big following around this whole thing. So devastating for Erica. Devastating that he was the one who got the earrings. Ronald actually has done this before with other things. He's tried to buy that have had legal woes. It's kind of smart, actually. You know, you see somebody with legal problems and you're like, ooh, I think that'll be undervalued. Let me go for it. I mean, you know, might as well. Sort of secret intel. But that's what happened to the earrings. They ended up on Ronald Richards' wife. I still don't know how much he paid for them, though. Do tell, Ronald. Do tell. Now, Ronald said that one of the reasons he bought the earrings was to verify the GIA certificate, but they can't possibly be accurate because they changed it when they were sold again at auction, but maybe he didn't realize they were doing that when he bought them. He originally had thought that maybe he could get the earrings and also do a comparison of whether the GIA certs actually match the original. But of course, that doesn't make any sense if they've changed the GIA number on the new, you know, when they were auctioned again. They'd be different. So I don't know. Maybe that was his original idea, but later it just became, I think, more revenge for his wife getting dragged into all this. Lauren won in the end. This is where it started, this fight. I found this in the Patreon. God, I love my Patreon. This is back from 2022. There's a fight that breaks out, I guess, between Erica and Lauren Richards about something. I don't remember what exactly the fight was. It's probably in the Patreon in the description of this. But here's the receipts. Somebody named Tangerine Dream says, at the Pretty Miss, tell these people why you won't cooperate and help the victims. And then Pretty Miss Erica comments to Lauren Richards, no one asks you to step in, go suck Ronald's dick and be quiet. That's what sets Ronald's off, obviously. And then somebody else says, at the Pretty Mess, how about you tell us why he was removed? And while you're at it, tell us why you want to keep the blood money. So that's that. And then also this happened. I did this video, Tom Girardi faking Alzheimer and Ronald Richards making an offer on Erica's mansion because Ronald not only wanted to buy the earrings after all this happened, but also Erica's house to really, you know, drive things home. Now, Ronald will tell you he's, you know, he wanted to buy it too because it was like a good deal and it was undervalued because of all of the, I guess, bad juju around the house. But anyway, Ronald didn't end up getting the house. He got outbid on that one. Isn't life so ironic? Erica Jane Girardi loses the earrings to her biggest enemy in the world. And his wife, who she attacked on the internet because I think she was standing up for the victims or saying something, you know, like that, ends up with them. Can you imagine if I was on this damn show still? By the way, Alex Baskin said his favorite seasons of all time were season 1 of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 1 of Vanderpump Rules, and season 2 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Thank you very much, because I was on that season. Yay! So I must kill him that I was on that season, which is his favorite, but... Do you remember how long it took me to get down that old stairwell in my house? Do you remember that scene? It was like an hour, me coming down the stairwell. I was the inventor of awkward entrances. Okay, now I'm going to play you something that really made me cringe. I totally know why Kyle Richards and Mauricio are splitting up now. Okay, so let me play this for you. This is from Tonight Show.
We've gone through a tough few months, tough year, whatever you want to call it, right? Having a session with him helps me be more in tune tune with myself.
I think, and I hope it helps you kind of reflect.
All I'm saying is that this is helping us. I think we're in a way better place. Way better place. And we've been married for 27 years. We've never had so much going on in our lives. It's become hard. Right? It's become really hard.
Well, I'm not someone who's gonna, while you're at work, stay home and go shopping.
Nor do I want you to. Your career is amazing. You've got all these amazing creative ideas about shows and all these things. And I've grown a lot. I have 85 offices. I'm going to have 100 offices by the end of this year, right? I'm opening up 2 offices a month. It's crazy stuff. We're both growing. We're both changing. We're about to be empty nesters. We've hit our 50s.
We're not empty nesters yet, though. You keep saying that.
I know, honey, but from your perspective, you're looking at today, and today you're correct. I'm looking at, what tomorrow is going to look like, and tomorrow is going to be here very fast.
But the point is, for me, yes, I'm thinking of that, but I'm also we have to think about today. I sometimes just get frustrated that I don't feel like I'm being heard. I want to be in a place in my life that I feel happy and fulfilled. I'm not going to stay in a situation I'm not happy in, and things that I wouldn't want my daughters to accept. I'm not going to accept for myself.
We've never, ever, throughout this process, stopped loving each other.
See the guy in the green pants? That's Mauricio, dancing topless in Aspen with champagne, screaming and shouting and having fun. And yes, this was his friend's birthday party that he was attending, but I kind of feel like he's having a midlife crisis and he's kind of overcompensating. Do you know what I'm saying? This is so not Kyle's speed right now. I don't know. And let's face it, we've got Kyle Richards after this episode showing that she's really tight with Erica, but not so tight with Dorit. It's very strange. A lot of dynamic shifts we got going here, kids. So here we go, you guys. This just happened 2 hours ago. It's Kyle and Morgan and Keisha. They just came out of a dinner place together for Valentine's Day. They hold up this weird sign, "Freedom, I've been waiting for you, heart." And they're all together. And what's weird about this picture for me is Morgan and Kyle are super close together and Keisha's way over on the left. And it's Valentine's Day. And I just think this is strange. I'm really starting to wonder what is going on here. Yeah. I just don't know. I don't know what to make of all this. Yeah. I think it might be a shout out to being single. It does feel very romantic, doesn't it? Well, Dorit and PK are celebrating Valentine's Day today. They've been in Mexico for a week. Lucky her. Let's start the recap. Erica talks to a therapist and says that she no longer has the safety net of Tom catching her, so it's harder for her to take risks, but she's still taking them. Then Sutton goes and sees her beautiful horse, Santos, and we find out she hasn't ridden a horse since she was 6 or 7 years old. She jumps on the horse. She's not great at it. She trots it. And then Kyle Richards shows up and they sit down by the horse, and Sutton talks about her marriage with Christian again and said that he's moving away. And Kyle asks how long they were together, married, and she said, well, we got divorced 6 or 7 years ago, and it was forever marriage. And she said, I was on the bottom and he was on the top, and he kept getting more and more successful and I was left behind. And Kyle's like, well, that's not what's happening to me. I'm also really successful. And then Sutton says, well, I guess you guys are going like this, essentially. And Kyle agrees, and she's like, I'm not going to settle. Then Jax and his mom, Garcelle Bouvet, make a PSA for Cyber Smile. They do a GoFundMe for Cyber Smile charity, which gives Jax power back after he was bullied by bad people or bots or someone who paid bots, and Garcelle, hints that it isn't straight up bots, and he gets his power back. Jax reclaims his power against the bullies. We move on, and Sutton is on her second date with Steve. He's good looking but geeky, and she's having fun with him. They're playing darts, and she, as always, has her, mixer in her purse. And she said that it's really hard to start over at 50. And I say, why bother? And she says, no, let's go on a third date and maybe a kiss this time. All right, then, by the way, she's still hanging around with Sanji, too. Saw that on her feed. The Mo and Kyle talk I played for you earlier. Then we go to Anne-Marie's lunch. All right, so let's start the recap, shall we? Anne-Marie is hosting a big lunch today. She's doing a Mother's Day lunch, and the theme is like diamonds and jewelry. And she has Jason of Beverly Hills do the event to promote his jewelry to these wealthy women as part of it, and she has it fully catered, and it's really lovely how they do it. There's lots of women there that are friends with Anne-Marie, and then, of course, the cast shows up for the party, Sutton's last. And the women drool over the diamonds and jewelry, and Erica says what she always says, and Garcelle says what she always says, which is, I'd give a BJ every day to get one of these diamonds that are worth $1 million. And one in particular remind me a lot of my engagement ring. And let me tell you, sis, pass on the ring. Pass on the ring. Then we move on, and we have Crystal have a meeting at this party, and it felt like a meeting with Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie, of course, did a few things that disturbed Crystal. One was in Spain, saying that she said the women were stupid, shallow. That was what it was. And Anne-Marie doesn't really get into it with Crystal. They basically say, let's agree to disagree on this one and just move on. But I mean, what a letdown. I'm like, Crystal obviously, Crystal came off as though she did say it because she didn't stand up to Anne-Marie and say, why did you say that awful stuff? And Anne-Marie doesn't really fight with Crystal at all about her belittling her career and all this stuff. Now, it's possible that the producer said, let's have a nice day today. We don't want any fighting, but it was a real letdown to this whole very serious fight. Because I'm telling you, in Beverly Hills, if one of your acquaintances or friends said to your friends for a few years that you called them dumb and shallow, it would be a huge explosion. Forget TV. That would really happen. So I don't understand why this one was a fizzle. We've had fights that were totally unrealistic. This one was a real one, and it didn't go anywhere. Anywho, then we see Dorit in her Chanel, and the best outfit, I have to say, for this event was Erica Jane Girardi. I loved her pink suit. It was really hot. And then she had black, thick, heeled Mary Janes, which are really hot right now in LA. I would love a pair. I used to have them. They came back. But anyway, that was hot. I had to mention that look. We find out that Kyle is the BJ queen of the group. The women have a big laugh over that. I don't know, make of that what you will. And then Erica is disappointed with the group not supporting her during her difficult season on the show when Tom Girardi is, going through all the things he's going through. And then, shockingly, Erica breaks out the waterworks. And it's just too little too late, sis. Like, don't feel bad for you at all. I mean, right? Love this filter. And Sutton apologizes to Erica, which is what triggers this cry, and apologizes for being, I guess, forthright with not approving of what happened with her husband and calling her reputation into question. Sutton oddly forgets that Erica threatened her in a really awful way, like a mobster, but that's forgotten. Garcelle holds her ground, which I respected. She just says, look, I didn't want to see you fall, but I stand by my opinion at the time. And Kyle's like, you've been a good friend to me always. And Dorit and I were sort of in unison in our support for you that was pretty blind. And so that's what is said by all the women, and Anne-Marie just sits there and Crystal just sits there, and that's that. Because Crystal already said in last week's episode that she wishes she had been there more for Erica. This gives Erica a great feeling of fulfillment and happiness, and now she feels like everything is good in the world for now. And believe it or not, we're almost to the end of the season. That's it for the episode. Wow. Now, I want you guys to know something. I am not going to do a weekly recap on another show following this one. I'll still be doing my Vanderpump Rules recap once a week, but I'm going to convert back to doing my gossip videos once in a while rather than a recap of a show. I'm going to take a break. I might resume when New Jersey starts, but that's just, I think you guys prefer from the views when I do gossip videos. You know what I mean? That you can read the thumbnail and go, oh, I know what that one's about, and I'll watch it. So I'm going to do that for a while again. It's good to mix it up. Please go listen to the podcast. Oh my gosh. All these people were shocked that there were rumors that Meghan Markle had a sex tape. I'm like, you guys don't know that? Anyway, that episode, that part of the episode, so everybody knows, is in the Patreon. There is part of that episode free, but not the part with Meghan Markle in it. Sorry, guys. That's in the Patreon. Anyway, go to the podcast tab when you can and check out what's there. It's fun. Give you a taste. Obviously, I'm going to have the most juicy parts in the Patreon. Duh. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Big kiss.